your host and moderator of Sarmiento.
You saw the possibility of being corrupted.
I think not much have changed, only the time. What is your point?
Because this system caters.
Endless demand.
Yes, it
choose,
basically...
It's Attorney Rob Sarmiento, and you are watching the second eliminator match of iDebate Challenge 2007, and we have La Consolacion College main debating team versus University of Negros Occidental Recoletos.
But in this question, robot is operationally defined as the dependency of human beings' practices and way of living to science, especially in the field of technology. And that is the definition we are going to use in this debate.
Man is not enslaved, rather he is liberated by science and technology. In the end, people will decide who is in control.
Doesn't that show that we are being a robot by science, by our dependence on it?
Technology is controlled and relies greatly on man and not the other way around. Man is not being controlled, does not greatly rely, and is not enslaved by technology.
One team is saying that we have become a robot in the hands of science. The other one is saying that we are still in control of all these technological advances that we have developed. When we return, we will have the interpellation rounds.
But does a robot have a choice? I mean, would you call a robot just dependent? You mean they have choices?
You don't have a choice but to also be on that situation. Because you don't have, we are in the time of technology. We are here, we are on the hands of science. We cannot do anything but to go with the flow.
Are you sure that we don't have any choice?
Yes, I do.
Sure? Then do you have a cell phone?
Yes.
Did you turn it off?
No.
Why not? Because this is a very important debate, and according to good manners or phone ethics, you have to turn off your cell phone.
This is my cell phone. So if ever I would be...
So it's not dependency, it's choice. You have a choice.
Also know that technology could endanger man.
No, not technology, but the abuse of technology. The difference between abuse of technology and the use of technology. There are technological advancements that are used to save lives, and the mistake of man is abuse of technology.
So you don't want science in your life?
I didn't say that.
We have these inventions and products. We have to make use of them, right?
Right.
So does that dependency or the use of these innovations make you a robot?
That's our definition of the word robot, dependency.
So are you trying to say that using them makes us dependent on them? Because at the first place, we can survive even without them. We just make use of what we created in order to better our lives.
Okay, how can we survive without science? How did our ancestors hunt food? They made use of spears. How did they keep warm for themselves? They made fire. Isn't that even just basic science? How can have man survive all through these years without science?
It is because he is open to changes. He changed through time in order for him to survive. Science is just a mere creation of man.
A creation on which he depends upon.
But his dependency on science does not make him totally a robot.
Every action of man is governed by science. Now, that's it. I'm just proving my point that man's dependency on science is affirming our side. How can you say that man is not totally dependent on science, if that's what you're saying?
I am not trying to say that man is not totally dependent on science, but they make use of science, and their dependence and their use of science does not make them a robot.
Okay, so that ends the interpellation rounds, and basically people of Bacolod are watching a proposition which says, has man become a robot in the hands of science? And we have here a scenario where the two teams are conflicting in their definition of what a robot is. The affirmative side is saying that when you say robot, it only means that one has to be dependent, and that makes him a robot. And the other side is saying that, well, when you say robot, there must be enslavement. And of course, the affirmative side has the right to the definition of the proposition, but the negative side, of course, has the right to challenge that definition. And it now depends on our judges to sift into these arguments and to these definitions and to look which is the better definition in saying that man has become dependent. Okay? Is there still free will left to man when you say that man has become a robot?
I think it's semi-free will because, of course, man has a choice to divert from technology, from all the cares of science.
And by that description, you are calling man a robot?
Yes, dependency.
Okay, now, negative side, do you agree?
No, because when you are dependent, you still have a choice. Robots don't have choices. So it should be enslavement, not just dependency.
So what really distinguishes man from robot in your...
It's their free will.
So it's the free will.
Choice.
Are you, in fact, against using science as a tool of our survival?
Are you saying we will die?
Yes, I'm saying that we cannot live without science.
What about the elements? Those are free. Those are not just science. Science is understanding, learning, and the knowledge behind all these things.
Okay, how can we compete with all those animals out there? Many species are dying because they cannot compete. And other species adapt to compete. Our adaptation there is the use of science.
Well,
That's our total.
Excuse me, I really don't think the issue here is whether we need science or not.
Oh.
I think the issue here is whether man has become a robot in the hands of science. So basically, I think we have to discuss here, have we become, or let's say, are we still in control of science, or has science begun to control humanity or mankind?
Exactly.
Exactly.
I think that's the point here. It's not whether science is important or not.
Of course, we have to agree that science is important, but we are still in control over them because they are just our creations.
Science is not only the physics and chemistry. It has already become a tradition. When we meet other people, we say good morning, yeah, right? And of course, that's social engineering. Proper etiquette. Isn't man outlining those things as an unwritten law to provide their social interaction, and of course, depending on it, to have their social relationship with other people?
Actually, you said that man is the one forming these unsaid laws on etiquette, right?
Yes.
So that means we have the control.
Okay, I'm trying to follow the argument. Man has created these rules or social conventions, and now man has to follow them. But in the process, let's say if man doesn't wish to follow them, has he lost the control, let's say, to modify them?
Of course not. He still has the control to modify them because it is his creation, so he has the control over it, whether he would like to change it or erase some of the laws. Still, we have the choice whether to be dependent on them or to go against it. As what we always try to say. We always have the choice whether to follow the rules or go against them because we still have the control over the things we created. I think we're misleading the point here. We're talking about here in the first place about man being in control over his creations, right?
Yeah, but men have free will. That's why we do not agree to your definition of a robot, which means dependency. Because men have free will. So that means robots do not have free will. Okay, let's put it this way. Robots do not have free will.
Okay, I think the time is up. Let's now give a round of applause to our debaters. And the winning team, by a vote of 4 against 1, the winning team is the negative side, University of Negros. Okay, so people of Bacolod, thank you very much, and we will see you again next week for another episode of iDebate Challenge 2007.